We all hate it when children scream, but what if I told you you can make it stop with good old behavioral science? You don't have to be a doctor, a therapist, or even a college student. It's easy to do and understand, and today I will explain to you the concept of consequences, how and when to use consequences, and how these consequences differ. Part 1. Consequences explained. Consequences means simply a thing that immediately follows a behavior. For example, if you flip a light switch and the light turns off, then the behavior is you flipping the light switch and the consequence is the light turning off. There are consequences that increase behavior, and these work by rewarding desired behavior with attention, praise, or other desirable items, and there are also consequences that decrease behavior, and these work by utilizing punishers such as social disapproval and time out in hopes of decreasing unwanted behavior. Part 2. Consequences that increase behavior. Consider this example. Sarah never cleans her room. You start giving her Doritos every time she does clean her room. Doritos are her favorite snack, and she starts cleaning her room more and more. You are now using a tangible reward to change Sarah's behavior. When giving the reward, do it immediately after the desired behavior. State the person's name and in a friendly and calm manner inform them why they are getting rewarded. It's important to be specific here. Do not give them a reward if the child is acting up. If they're throwing a temper tantrum in the store, and you buy them a toy to make them stop screaming, they now think that throwing a temper tantrum in the store will get them a toy. Yikes. Part 3. Consequences that decrease behavior, also known as punishers. They sound scary, but it's just what we call consequences that decrease behavior. You should never withhold food, water, or shelter from an individual when trying to improve their behavior because that is illegal, cruel, and unethical. However, utilizing strategies such as social disapproval can help eliminate problematic behaviors. To utilize social disapproval, immediately following a problem behavior, state the person's name, say "do not," and identify problem behavior. For example, Sarah, do not borrow the car without permission. It's important to maintain eye contact and use a no-nonsense voice. Do not mock or ridicule the individual. Just tell them what they have done wrong. You do not want to use this tactic if the individual is acting out in order to gain attention. Even though this may seem as a punishment, if they are acting out simply for attention, then they will be happy with the result of getting yelled at. Conclusion. Some 3 helpful tips to remember. How do you know if it's working? If the behavior that you are trying to increase does increase, then that means that it is working. Alternatively, if the behavior that you are trying to decrease occurs less and less, then that means that it is working as well. Number 2, time is of the essence. It is important to reward or punish the behavior immediately after or as soon after you can as it occurs. The later that you go between the behavior and the reinforcement or punisher is less likely that the behavior will be affected by this reward. It's important to do it as quickly as you can after the behavior and be as specific as possible when rewarding or punishing the behavior. And number 3, everybody's tastes change. It's important to remember that when choosing rewards and punishments. What works one week might not work the next, and what works to reward one behavior might not work to reward another. It's important to stay open, stay flexible, and if you're not sure, ask your child what type of reward they would want. I hope you learned a little something today about rewards, punishment, and consequences, and maybe you can get your child to stop screaming now. Maybe.